Hello, everyone. Today I'm here with Hassan Prashkov, the owner of the New England Derby. It's our only one loft race in New England, and it is a very special race. And Hassan is an incredible handler, loft manager, pigeon fancier, and also a good friend, in full disclosure. But I wouldn't support it if it wasn't first class. Hey, Hassan, can you tell us a little bit
Hi.
about your race?
Hello, everybody. Like everybody knows now, most of the people, I'm not a good writer. I don't write things, but that's why I didn't explain too much about my race at the Wing Companion Post or like other places. I put more of a time to the pigeons than anything else. I'm not a social media guy, and thanks to my wife, she created a Facebook for my race. Because of her, I have a Facebook page since last year. But anyway, I'm posting some short videos since last year. I like to say, people asking me, some of the guys, the new guys, when it's a good time to enter the racing here in New England. A lot of people, they don't know that never been in New England, from Texas, California. The weather in here is just can change right away, and it's still very chilly. It was a few years ago. This year we are lucky we have a mild weather. Uh, it's still cold in February. First year I started accepting birds in April was a little late, I believe, but the birds came on April 1st, a couple of weeks of the April. I think they did really well in the first year. So still I can say the best time to send the birds in New England area, and this is going to be probably end of the March and first couple of weeks of the April. I think it's the best, but I open up to those this year end of the February, just in case, because a lot of people now these days breed uh, early, and most of the guys, they supply the big money races first, which I don't mind. I enter a lot of one off races too, and if anyone has some like spare youngsters that they can send them here if they're old enough. That's why I opened the doors a little early this year. Uh, Other than that, I don't post every training most of the time because I'm not here. When I get out of the highway, it takes me like so long sometimes to get to the house. So the birds basically, I'm leaving an open hole and they're under the coop. They enjoy them themselves. They don't clock in the same time. And as soon as you post the results, I know the like pigeon guys mentality. They see on the first place who's there from the 20-mile toss. I'm advising every single pigeon fancier that enters the one-off races. I own one. Don't look at the results until the races. They don't mean anything. Trust me, I'm always entering the races too. And even my race, it's a one-off race. It's another club race. They don't have to separate. They don't have to split. They all come in the same place. But sometimes they get chased by the hawk, by the falcon. Some groups come in later, which I like. They getting much educated than the other guys. They just follow a couple birds and coming home. I really like to educate them, like uh, screw them up a little bit. That's why I take them different directions. If the wind blows down, took him to the Cape Cod Canal, which is 30 miles to me, and then next day I take him to the north and west. So that's what I do with my own pigeons, and that's what I do with the one-life pigeons too. So if you guys send the birds to me, I'll train the piss out of them. I'm sorry, but this is one I baby him in the beginning because I don't want to lose anybody's birds. No one one love race owner want to lose any of the birds. Sometimes people talking like I said, a pigeon fancier. Um, it's just comes different categories. Only only thing we have in common is pigeons, but we can be from different areas, different countries, and we have different way of thinking. And we always want to blame somebody somewhere somehow. I don't want to defend any of the one love races or race owners, but usually no one love race owner or manager want to lose any of your birds or my birds or whatever. But it's a tough.
Now with Hassan, I know that you work the birds hard and you have a race series. And these pigeons, once they're trained, they go into your race series. Can you tell us about the actual series of races and your race course, what people should ship?
Yeah, well, I start training the birds on a distance like by training people don't understand. They say, "Oh, he had this toss, this toss." Don't mean nothing, guys. When I start training them, I put them on a condition. I don't stop. Young birds usually in my area we fly 11 or 10 races. I don't know, thing, whatever it is, and with special races. Last year I had a bird. I mean, I had a team of birds. They flew 10 races, every single race. And I had 3 birds. I entered them in a futurity race in Rhode Island, 350 miles. And I sent them to the last 300 miles after 1 week after I came from Ahuja again. So it was my champion bird. So some people say, oh, those are young birds. They can't fly. I don't baby the birds. I'm sorry, but it's just like I don't want to sound like, that's how I raise my pigeons. And whatever comes in this loft, they've been trained this same way. So the race series, activation race, it's 120 miles from Lee. That's where the first young bird race usually is for my club. So that's why I like to make that as activation. 120 miles, every bird can fly. If they don't fly, they don't belong in an activated team, I believe. I mean, 100 miles is nothing. And then I have 150 miles race. I have a 200-mile race, which I fly 220, 219. This from that station. And this year I do a 300-mile race and 375-mile race. Last year was 350. Me myself, I don't like it too much. It was a fast race. I think the final race should be a little more on a distance and a working race. I really want to see only a few birds, that cream of the birds that they deserve to win the like final race. So I have another like 300-mile race, which is still really good distance. That's how I decide. That's how I like to raise my birds somewhere. So that's why I did it this way. I did a 400 miles couple races in the beginning, but it was my first year. I didn't have that much of experience of the one love race, and I didn't have that much of experience of the 400-mile race in November because we don't have a daylight. So that was the biggest issue.
Yeah, our days start getting pretty short around November.
Yeah, the 4 minutes a day, and if you're late 2 weeks with the final race, you're losing 1 hour of daylight. So it's a 15 days by 4 minutes. That's 60 minutes. It's a 1 hour daylight. It does the job on you, so you can't. But anyway, that's a different story. That's how I decided this year. And we fly the course from west to east because the ocean is this way, actually this way, and we can go back to the up in the main to fly. It just doesn't work, and we can't go to the Long Island. These birds won't come never. And I try to have the races every week. I don't like to give young birds too much of a break on the beginning of the season, like until the 200-mile race. Even a 200-mile race, if it's not a tough race, if it's a regular like 1500 yard race, I don't give them like more than 1 week off because they gotta stay in the condition. You know, I don't train them more than twice a week after the races start. I fly them around the coop. I give them like maybe if the race is Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, they resting. I let them out maybe Monday, and I force them to fly Tuesday. Or it's all depend on the weather. We have like combine races on the weekends. In the short races, I may have the same day race. I'm not sure. It's all depend on the weather again. I don't like to, but on the short races, I can release my derby birds like hour later than the combine. So I don't think it's gonna affect them. It's not gonna affect my birds. It's gonna affect more of the combine birds because it's a big group coming in here. So that's why I don't wanna screw up the concourse. And
That makes sense. You wouldn't
yeah,
want your birds putting a pull on the rest of the birds in the combine.
yeah. I mean,
Now, with this race, like I compete against Hassan, and I know he's a tremendous conditioner of pigeons. He can care for pigeons. He has a stock sense like very few pigeon fanciers. Terrific pigeon racer. He's one of the dominating fanciers in the Southern New England Combine, the Boston Concourse. In a few minutes, we're going to go tour the loft. But Hassan, tell us a little bit about what the people should do before they send the birds to you, and what you do when they arrive here.
well, before they send them, I recommend to vaccinate. Uh, but I had a lot of guys they didn't vaccinate. I still believe the issues some of the guys have. It's the breeding loft. I know some people won't like it, but I'll say the truth. The problem it's in the breeding loft with the pigeons. They don't have the strong immune system, and even the vaccine sometimes it doesn't help to this kind of pigeons when they get to the different environment. I suggest every pigeon fancier to introduce different environment to the pigeons at the loft or something. Don't make it like clean like a hospital. Those are animals. I mean, I'm a farmer. I have like chickens. I have goats, dogs. All my life I had this back in the country too. And same as the kids. I grew up in a different environment. I had a kid. He grew up uh, in the yard in the winter. They had no money. He had some boots and the shorts in the snow. That kid never got sick. Never. I don't think he had a vaccine for anything. But I do vaccinate the birds. I do pull the flights, and I keep the lights on when I get the birds. So I keep them on the light until maybe, I don't know. It's all depend on the pigeons. Sometimes they come in too old. Some of them are way too young. So I check every single bird in where in the molt stage it is, so I can pull either night flight only or bolt flights. I put them on the light, then I shut the lights later off, and that's similar to the Beachy system years ago he was applying. It works for me because when the races starts, most of the birds they're on the same condition. You can't put them 100% on all like body wise. They molt the body. I have a big aviary. Afternoon, maybe like after like 12 o'clock, the sun comes from here. That aviary that hits the sun and it's open and it hits all the way to the walls of the coop. So I don't have no purchase in the aviary. So I don't want them to perch in the aviary. I want them to perch in the coop. They have box perches, but they stay on the aviary. I give them bath. They molting like crazy. I don't force them like maybe for the 2-3 weeks. They molt the body. The wings are there. So I suggest don't send the squeakers. It's people just sending them without thinking. I mean, I have a small amount of pigeons I'm getting like last few years, but the people with a lot of birds and the other races, you send the squeakers down, the guy cannot baby them. It just it's not gonna happen.
So, what age do you think they should ship them to the one loft race and to you?
I think the birds are the best. They can eat, they can drink water, and they can fly really independent to the perch. Not too old, but they gotta be eating and drinking very well, not just to see the bird picking a grain and had a water once in his life, and you send and put him on a box. It just they usually go down right away. Not right away, but it just. Um,
Well, even the shipping, they don't respond well to the shipping at that age.
Yeah,
it really it affects them.
Affects them, and they come into the different coop. They never been on that big sections. I had some birds. Some of them guys probably they don't have too much time to spend with breeders, and they just feed them with a lot of feed on the front of them. And they don't see the human being. some of them, they don't go down to eat for like maybe 2 days. As soon as I touch the door, they sit on a perch.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how big the loft is and about your guard dogs. You have Turkish Kangles here protecting the birds and the property. How
Well,
big is your loft? And tell us about the dogs.
my dogs are very rare. People, they don't know this breed too much in this country, but they have the strongest bite force from all of the dogs. You guys can check. I don't want to advertise my dogs. I don't sell them, but they are very rare. The loft is 200 feet long. I should have listened my old good friend Steve Capolini to build only 50 feet of loft, but I built a 200 feet because this is what I wanted it. But if I didn't build it, I was going to be stuck right here, and I was always going to be dream about 200
Yeah,
loft.
well, it's an
But I have
incredible
it.
loft. You can't believe how massive this building is. How
Uh,
wide is it and how many sections do you
I have
have?
like 18 sections.
18 sections?
I have like 144 perches on each section, but only on the two walls. I don't have any perches on the back wall, and the sections are 12 by 10. It's one of the biggest sections, and I built it big, but I left a lot of space for the birds too, so they can be happy inside on the section everywhere. I mean, that I can hold like 2,000-3,000 pigeons easy, but I don't want that many birds anyway. It's
Yeah, well, it's an amazing
too much
building.
of a commitment.
Why don't we go inside and you can show us a little bit about your inside of the loft.
All right.
We're heading into the New England Derby office, into the loft. The first section is office space, grain storage here, and it's off season, so he's just getting everything organized for the race season.
Where I put my grains, I took 2 barrels on the other side, but usually all the barrels are right here. I'm gonna put some shelves this year right here for the other things. I have a lot of grain. I have different kind of grains, and I don't like to feed only one kind. This is a popcorn mix.
Wow, very nice.
I like to, like I said, different grains I like to use. And this is the barley. I feed barley to the birds. I'm not, I don't hide. I don't know why people hiding. And I don't know why the people don't feed the barley. I think the barley it's one of the savers for the every racer. I don't care. It's a club races. And you can control the weight. You can control everything. You can clean up the body. If you feed like couple days or one day barley, it's very good feed. If you feed your birds, I don't want to teach nobody. Don't get me wrong, guys. That's what I do. And if you guys use it as a tip, use it. But don't get me wrong. So like you guys do this, I know this. No, I do from experience. If the bird something wrong with the pigeons, feed them a couple days of barley. If these droppings don't get nice and brown and bullets, that means something wrong. Very
so
wrong.
It's a good test.
Good, very good test. It cleans them
the health of the bird.
Yes, and then when you feed them different varieties of the grain, some of the birds they eat this, some of the most of this, and you can see some different colors, not bad colors, but different colors, and some loose droppings. So you gotta be transitions gotta be like kind of. I always have a little barley mix in my feed, so when I put them on a 2-day barley, like you see that you have a problem, So
that's interesting.
And the barley has a lot of fiber outside, and it sucks the oil. If you put an oil in a little bit and put it like a pink mineral, even better.
Oh, you use the oils on the barley?
A little oil, not too much, because it sucks a lot of oil, but it keeps that pink minerals. This is a grid, but I have only pink minerals I buy. I don't have it in here now. And it does the job. It dries up everything. And like I said, if a couple of birds, they have like loose ropes. You better get them out of there or whatever. Just something wrong with the
I
pigeons.
know that you, with your race, and I've been around Hassan now for a long time, and you know a pigeon's sick before the pigeon knows it's sick.
I know.
So he can separate out a bird that he feels is not quite right and tend it and get it away from the group, which helps eliminate much of the problems. I see in the back corner over here, there's a trophy case, and I know you have a million more trophies than that. But
not
you want
too
to show
much.
a couple?
Yeah, I mean, as like I said, I still fly in the compound races. This is the 22 New England Open winner, 500 miles.
Wow.
And same hand this year, she was my first bird on a 600, 441 in the morning.
Yeah, she was in before it got light the next morning, so she had to be in the neighborhood.
So, and that's my one of the best awards before I start Derby race. That's New England Open champion loft, all New England.
And our New England Opens are a series of 4 long distance races usually. Sometimes they include a 300 against all New England. Very competitive races.
And that's RIS Rhode Island race winner.
Red Band winner. That's our biggest maturity in the area.
Yeah, so there's some few.
I love that picture of you winning the convention a few years ago.
Oh yeah.
he handled the IF convention winner. Terrific loft. Let's go take a look at the loft and see what you have here.
Simple. I don't want to say cheap, but it's cheaper than wooden dowels. I have like 144 perches, like I said, on both sides. I don't have no perches on here. I can put perches, but I don't wanna. So I feed them on the like feeders outside. I feed them on the floor because I scrape the floor every day and dries out. At night I clean them, and I want to see which birds are coming down to eat, because on the feeders sometimes some of the birds they get in push. They don't get too much. I don't want to overfeed them because they don't want to eat later on whatever I want. And when you start letting them out, the fatter birds, they don't want to exercise. Trust me. It just and I know all the one-off race guys, they have this problem. You got to flag them, and some of them running, they going on the trees. This happens, guys. So I don't want to hide anything. So you got to control the weight little. Don't starve them. I mean, I don't starve them, but I like to see everybody eats and like which one is coming down. If that bird doesn't go and fight for the feed on the floor, this and that, it's something is not right. So that's how I try to eliminate the birds that they can cause a problem. I check the bird, maybe it's too young.
That makes sense. How big is this section?
It's 10 by 12.
10 by 12 inside, and you said there's 18.
18 section. The last section, it's like a bigger section. I left it there. Supposed to be like birds coming first, but I never got like that many big.
You can certainly get your exercise walking down this long.
Well, yeah, that's why.
So how do you use this flight pen that's in front of each section?
Well, the flight pen, like I said, right now it's still winter, and like you guys see, the sun, it's hitting like almost full of the Avery. It's like 11:30, so in a little bit it's gonna hit the whole Avery. They right here, air. I feed them in on the beginning right here on the feeders because everything going down. So whatever sickness they have, like I said, everything going down. I'm giving them bath with these things. I put the settling cages, not this one. These are my training cages. I have big settling cages. I put them out, and they go out on a settling cage, and they go through the bulbs right here. And then I have some doors from where I can kick them out of here.
Oh, that's nice.
So,
this is quite a big flight pen on the front of this loft.
Well, yeah, I like the Avery from my old pigeon coops in my country. So I think it does the really tremendous job in the fresh air. I had some extra birds that I left them in the fresh air in the winter. It just health, it's unbelievable. If anything doesn't handle that kind of thing, it just, that means the bird, it's not healthy pigeon at all, you know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And this loft sits pretty far away from any trees or woods. It's like in the center of, what is this, about a 10-acre field?
Yeah, yes.
So you
The
don't,
Hawks doesn't have a, like a chance to get him around here, but they got chased a lot on the way from the training and this and that, which I can't really avoid, and no one can avoid. I know sometimes. That's why if the birds a little bit, I think last year I had a best season so far because I learned when the hogs emigrate, when the hogs are bad, until then the birds were in a good shape, so they can't really do anything to the pigeons. They can hit one in there too, but they can't do the big damages.
yeah,
You
being
know
in a
the
big field like this, it really limits the hawk's ability to sneak up on
yeah
the birds, and that's great. And we have Cooper's hawks mainly in this part of the world, and they're sneak attack hawks. And
yeah.
having Hassan's lofts way out in the middle of this field really helps. Let's move on. Hassan, we appreciate this, and as we're winding down, what are your entry fees and perch fees for this year?
Well, for this year, I lowered the perch fees in order to get a few more extra birds, maybe to build up the race. Uh, the perch fees this year with the birds, it's going to be $50 only. And this way, if there is any birds get lost after the replacement dates, so you can't lose like 150 bucks, you just lose only 50 bucks. I still, you know, and the activation fee will be like 450 after the 120-mile race, and that 100 bucks from there, it's gonna go to the perch fee. But whatever the birds are left, usually everybody knows that um, uh, there is some chances that birds getting lost until the activation race anyway. So basically, whatever you have left, that's what you're gonna pay, you know. And 50 bucks, I think it's not that much money just to get started. Like you guys see, like I spend my money for the feed and everything before that, and I built this coop with my own money, not after the races. So I invest my own money to do it, which is, you know, that's what I wanted it.
Well, this is with
But
you, Hassan, which a lot of people don't know. This is more of a hobby one loft race. You're
yeah,
not pushing to earn a living. If anything, if he breaks even, he's happy,
yeah,
and he loves the pigeons and loves the competition and the fanciers. And we have a great event for the final race, and hopefully many of you can enter and join, and you won't be disappointed. It's a true test. It's a very, very true test for your pigeons. If Hassan is handling them, you have a series of races. You can watch the results. The final race will usually be a good, solid working race. Close to 350 miles, you figure, around 350
three
this year.
375.
We're going to go 375, which is pretty exciting for a young bird. And I'm going to put all the links in his flyer, his website. I'll put everything in the bottom here of the video. So if you guys are interested, contact Hassan. Like he said, he'd rather answer calls on a phone, by phone, or
Yeah,
if you call him, he's English is his second language, but actually he speaks English every bit as
it's third
great as I
language.
do. It's his third language, I should say. So he'd rather speak it than write it, but we've got a first-class individual, first-class race, and I hope everyone decides to enter in 2024. Send some babies out to the New England Derby and come visit.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for having us, Hassan, and we'll keep it
Anytime.
going. I hope you like my videos and subscribe, and we'll do more interviews coming up, and I'll be here filming some of the races when Hassan has his training and final and so on. Thank you so much.